Your data is broken into pieces. Here's why. You send a photo, you open a website, you watch a video. It feels like one thing travels from one place to another. One object moving through a wire or through the air, from your device to somewhere else in the world. That's how it feels. That's how most people imagine it. But that's not what really happens. What actually happens when you press send or click a link or start the stream is something much stranger, something that most people never think about. Because it all happens invisibly, in fractions of a second underneath everything you see on screen. Your data does not travel as one piece. It is broken apart, split into fragments, each fragment sent separately, through different paths, sometimes in a different order, and then somewhere on the other side it is rebuilt, reassembled, as if it was always whole. The internet does not move things, it moves pieces of things. And once you understand that, the internet starts to look completely different. Most people, if you ask them how the internet works, will describe something like a postal system. You have a file, a photo, a message, a document, you send it. It leaves your device, it travels through some kind of network and arrives at the destination, like a package dropped into a mailbox and picked up on the other side. This makes sense as a mental image. It is clean, it is logical, it matches how we experience the internet. Because from our perspective, things do seem to arrive whole. You receive the photo, the website loads, the video plays, but the postal analogy breaks down almost immediately when you start asking the right questions. Because in a postal system, one package travels one route. If the road is blocked, the package is delayed or lost. If everyone in the city sends a package at the same time, the road becomes congested and everything slows down. The internet does not work like that. It cannot afford to work like that. The internet was built to be resilient. It was designed to keep working even when parts of it fail. It was built to carry the data of millions of people simultaneously without any single point of failure bringing everything down. To do that, the people who designed these systems had to think differently. They had to abandon the idea of sending one complete object from one place to another. Instead, they built a system that breaks everything apart and sends the pieces. Why data must be broken apart? Think about what it would mean to send a large file as a single object across the network. That file would need to occupy the connection entirely while it was moving. No one else could use that path. If the connection failed halfway through, the entire file would have to start over. If the network was busy, everything would wait. For a small network with a handful of users, maybe that would be manageable. But the internet is not a small network, it is hundreds of thousands of interconnected networks carrying the traffic of billions of people all at the same time. Sending large blocks of data as single objects would make that completely unworkable. So the solution was to cut the data into small and uniform pieces. Pieces small enough to be handled quickly, small enough to share a network with thousands of other pieces from thousands of other sources, all moving at the same time without blocking each other. This approach has a name. It is called packet switching. The idea is straightforward. Instead of giving one sender exclusive use of a connection until their data is fully delivered, you break every message into small packets. Each packet is sent independently. Each packet can take whatever path is available. The network is shared continuously between everyone. If one path is congested, a packet takes different routes. If one router fails, the packet goes around it. If a packet is lost or corrupted, only that one packet needs to be resent, not the entire file. Packet switching is what makes the internet flexible. It is what makes it robust. It is why the network can survive damage, congestion, and failure in ways that all the communication systems never could. And it is why your data right now is never really traveling as one piece. What a packet is. So what exactly is a packet? At its most basic level, a packet is a small unit of data. When you send something across to the internet, a message, a photo, a request to load the web page, that data is divided into these small units before it goes anywhere. Each packet is not just a fragment of the original data, it carries more than that. Think of it this way. Imagine you have written a long letter, several pages, and you want to send it to someone. But you can only send one page at a time. In separate envelopes, just put each page in an envelope and send them. There's a problem. The pages might arrive in the wrong order. The person receiving them might not know how many pages to expect. If one envelope is lost, they might not even realize something is missing. So before you send them, you do something careful. You number each page, page 1 to 12, page 2 of 12, and so on. You write the sentence address on every envelope. You write the destination address on every envelope. You include a way to check whether the page arrived undamaged. Now the person on the other side can receive all the envelopes. Put the pages in the right order. Check that nothing is missing and read the letter as it was meant to be read. A packet works in the same way. Every packet contains a piece of the original data. This is called the payload. But it also contains a header, which holds the important information needed to deliver it correctly. The header includes where the packet came from, the source address, it includes where the packet is going. The destination address, it includes the sequence number, so the receiving system knows what order to reassemble things in, and it includes error checking information, a way to detect whether the packet was corrupted or damaged in transit. All of that fits into a small structure, usually just a few hundred to a few thousands of bytes in size. The thousands of these packets all carry fragments of your data, leave your device and begin their journey through the network. The journey of packets. Here's where it gets interesting. Those packets do not all travel together. They do not form a convoy, moving in sequence along a single path. Each packet is in a sense on its own. When a packet leaves your device, it goes to the first router on the network, usually inside your home or at your internet provider. That router looks at the destination address in the packet's header and makes a decision, where should this go next. The router does not know the full route from start to finish. It only knows its immediate surroundings. It knows which networks it's connected to, and it makes the judgment about which direction brings the packet closer to its destination. Then it forwards the packets, and the next router does the same thing, and the next. This process, forwarding a packet step by step through a chain of routers, is how data moves across the internet. Not through one wire from your screen to a server somewhere, but through a series of decisions made by machines that you will never see, in buildings you will never visit, in countries you may never have thought about. And here is the part that surprises people. Two packets from the same file might take completely different paths. One packet might travel through routers in one country. Another might go through a different set of networks entirely. One might arrive in milliseconds. Another might take a slightly different route because a network somewhere along the way was congested or temporarily unavailable. The internet is not a road. It is not even a highway system. It is closer to a vast web of intersections, where every intersection can make an independent decision, and where data can flow in countless directions. This is what makes it resilient. Information on the sea cable is cut, and this is to happen. Traffic does not simply stop. Routers detect that the path is unavailable and begin routing around it. Packets find other ways to reach their destination. The system adapts automatically without any human intervention. The network was designed to survive, and packet switching with packets moving independently through this web of paths is how that survival is made possible. Rebuilding the message. At some point, all those packets arrive at the destination. Maybe it is a server. Maybe it is the device of the person you sent a message to. Maybe it is your own computer receiving the pieces of a web page that you just requested. And this is where another layer of invisible work begins. The packets do not necessarily arrive in order because they may have traveled in different routes. The second part of your message might arrive before the first. The 15th packet might appear before the 10th. The system on the receiving end knows this and it is ready for it. It collects the packets as they come in. It looks at the sequence number. It begins arranging them into the correct order. But something packets do not arrive at all. Sometimes a packet might be dropped somewhere along its journey. A router might be overloaded and discarded. Connection might be briefly interrupted. Whatever the cause, the packet does not arrive and the gap appears in the sequence. This is where a protocol called TCP becomes important. TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. Without going too deeply into it, because it deserves its own episode. TCP is the system that makes sure everything arrives correctly. It tracks which packets have been received. It detects when something is missing, and it sends a request back to the source. I did not receive packet number 47. Send it again. The source resends the missing piece. The destination receives it. The sequence is complete. And then the reconstruction happens. The fragments of data are assembled in the correct order. The original message, the original image, the original web page is rebuilt from its pieces. What arrives at your screen, or your ears, or your application is exactly what was meant, what was sent, even though it traveled in fragments through a complex web of networks and machines. You do not see any of this. You see the photo, you read the message. The web page loads, but underneath, in the space of milliseconds, thousands of small decisions were made. Thousands of fragments were moved, and a complete thing was rebuilt from nothing but numbered pieces. There is something worth sitting with here. The internet feels instant. It feels seamless. You click and things appear. You send a message arrive. The experience is smooth and almost frictionless. But that smoothness is an illusion, not a deception, but an achievement. What looks like one simple action is actually an enormous amount of invisible work. Data broken into pieces routed through networks, spanning continents, decisions made by machines, at every step. Packets arriving out of order, checked, reordered, reassembled, and delivered, all in the time it takes to blink. The internet is not magic, it is engineering. And the engineering is, in its own way, quiet way, extraordinary. Most people never think about this. Most people not need to. But once you start to see it, you understand that every click, every message, every stream is really the movement of thousands of small fragments through a vast and invisible infrastructure. You begin to see the internet differently. Not as a simple pipe that carries things from here to there, but as a system that is constantly breaking things apart and putting them back together faster than human perception can follow. And now a question begins to form. If your data is broken into all these packets, and those packets travel through networks you do not control, through routers in other countries, through cables on the oceans, through infrastructure owned by companies and governments you have never heard of, who actually receives those packets while they travel? That is the question we will follow in the next episode. Because the journey of a packet does not happen in private. And understanding you can see what and when changes how you think about everything you send. If you want to keep following this invisible journey, stay with the series. Because once you understand packets, the internet starts to look completely different.